The women's suffrage movement in the Bahamas played no small role in the eventual enactment of law to permit universal adult suffrage and to give women the same political rights as men. Tonight, as we continue our special 50th anniversary series on majority rule, we will hear from living and walking historians about what made them tick and what drove them to relentlessly search for social justice for women everywhere. Here's Joan Davis-Roll.
There were some Bahamian women that were forced to reckon with, some hard hitters that were not only prolific writers, orators, and politicians, but pioneers in their own right. Bahamian women who helped to shape the political landscape of this country. Powerful and compelling are words many use to describe the story of the women's suffrage movement in the Bahamas that was inextricably tied to a quiet revolution that not only led to majority rule, but ultimately the birth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. History records that the movement really started with a conversation between Mary Ingram and her husband following his defeat in the 1949 general elections.
He made the remark, "May, if women could have voted, I would have won."
May, as she was affectionately called, was born on July 30th, 1901 in New Providence. A housewife, she became actively involved in politics in the late 1940s, when her husband Rufus was a member of the House of Assembly for the Crooked Island and Acklands district. When you hear the word suffrage,
right,
what does that mean?
Suffrage means the vote. And so the suffrage movement simply means persons who have struggled for the right to vote. And these women certainly were at the forefront, not only of the right to vote for women, they were also at the forefront of what's called universal suffrage, meaning that the entirety of the society needed to be enfranchised and empowered to vote, because there was a period where men could not vote either in the Bahamas, men who didn't have property and men who didn't own businesses or companies.
Mary Ingram was strong-willed and an intelligent woman, characteristics which enabled her to complete the work destiny had assigned to her in the women's suffrage movement.
So my grandmother, of course, is Mary Ingram, and she was one of those women who really began the women's suffrage movement. And we know that women's suffrage really began the whole process toward majority rule. But she and certain other women who I use the word, they were luminaries of their time.
That was then, this is now. Generations later, there's still a call for women to be recognized and the role they played with majority rule.
You know, Joan, it's the most peculiar thing because, of course, as a young girl sitting at her feet and watching her in action and hearing all that she was doing, I was not aware that it was actually something that was affecting me as a person. You wouldn't know that as a youth. You wouldn't know that. You would know that you're hearing these interesting conversations. You're seeing this wonderful grandmother of you who you really see as having one of these maternal instincts, and you look at the other side of what she does for you, all the nurturing and the loving and the provision that she would make for you. And you're not really thinking, you know something, this is maybe having an effect on me that's going to affect my whole life.
Another generation that is a part of a lineage steeped in Bahamian history is the daughter of a political giant in his own right, Arthur D. Hanna.
He was born in 1928, but he is an Acklands Islander. He is independent, and he is proud. He's humorous. He has lots of stories. And he is, in my view, a living legend in this country.
She is the Honorable Glenys Hanna Martin. Her life and times in politics and her commitment to the advancement of women mirrors that of her father. She currently serves as the Minister of Transport and Aviation.
There was a lot at stake at that time, and if you took a stand, a lot of things could have happened to you. In fact, my mother was fired when they found out who she was married to. And so a price was paid. I have to talk with victimization, but I could tell you it was very real then. And the language was always veiled with the threats, and there were always actions that accompanied the threats, oftentimes, if you took action.
So Stafford Sands reported a bill from the Constitution Committee giving women in the Bahamas the right to vote.
The challenge for the next generation, I think, is to connect to the historical movement. It's not just history for the books. Remember where you come from. Connect to it, and let that continue to be your propulsion as you move forward.